Two. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on the coast that you are on. I am so excited to be back with you guys. Welcome to the WOFB podcast. I am Cameron Metheney, your host, founder, principal of Cameo Studio Designs, where we love to implement all things lighting with tile, and also launching the CEU for designer dopamine. You guys, if you have a studio or you have a landscape where you can have CEUs, look at designer dopamine. You're going to love it. The WOFB is a community of women in flooring, tile, stone designers, architects, entrepreneurs, lighting, and so much more. We are so personally passionate about the stages that we give all of our audiences for people to stand on and be heard for women in this industry. We push and empower each other through Flourish and flooring and business and so much more. This podcast is proudly presented and sponsored by WOFB, Latacrete, and also my company, Cameo Studio Design. More importantly, though, I have got to take a breath because I am so excited. Today, I am delighted to be meeting with one of my great personal friends and also someone I look up to in the industry, Julee Ireland. If you don't know her, she is a CEO and founder of Julee Ireland. As you guys know or may not know, she's LA-based international interior designer, architect, and product designer. She is the founder of Home Renovation School, co-founder of Tile Mart University, a TV host. She's a model. She's all of the things, a mom, a friend, award-winning author. Julee brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to our industry. I welcome her with gratitude, open arms, and thanks, Julee, so much for being here.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I love that lamp.
I know. Isn't this like beautiful? There's a fun story behind this lamp, actually. So when I moved to Santa Monica, I went to the Restoration Hardware outlet because, hello, who doesn't want to stop in there every day for a little eye candy?
Right.
And beauty was there. And I was like, went to the lamp and went, how much is that? Like, wait, do you have another one? They're like, we have one. And this was something that is a one-off from Restoration Hardware. It was in some of their catalogs and photo shoots. They never manufactured it. So I have one of a kind. It wasn't inexpensive, but it's worth it. You know, being a lighting expert, that lighting is a jewelry to your home. This is a conversation piece. I love it. Every day, I literally turn it on first thing in the morning, even though it's like bright and sunny. It's just so pretty and sparkly.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I love to have it on. So day and night, this light's on.
It's this. I love the backgrounds that everyone shows up in whenever we do this podcast. Like Allison Eden, we did the podcast with her. She has their whole manufacturing plant behind her, like in New York, and then I know. And then Jana Valafueco, she had the paintings of her all in her art of her studio behind her. So I love when everyone shows up with all of this great fun background and just kind of gives us a picture of who people are. So that's so fun. So thank you so much for coming today. Julee, I've known you for a while, and I've always wanted to ask this question. It's on your signature, on your email, and then on your website. What does it mean to be simple, be true, and be you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I trademarked that probably about 25 years ago. And to me, I don't know. It just kind of came to me. I think, I've shared with you that I had an international greeting card line at one point that I was an artist of and all of that. And it was at that time that I thought of that saying. So to me, be simple means it was to remind me to simplify life, to not get too complicated and get caught up in a big, circle, right? It's like, be simple. be true is about just be authentic, be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And you is just don't be afraid to let your inner star shine. Like, just be you. If you want to be silly, be silly. If you want to like open a company, go open a company. Go be you. Go do you. Don't worry what anyone else says at all.
Mm.
And so it has a deeper meaning to me. So I put it in my signature. It's like a reminder. Like, I wear this necklace every day. It says blessed. And it's the first thing I put on in the morning. And
Mm.
I say like a little kind of like little prayer of gratitude to remind me that I'm blessed every day. I'm
Right.
blessed to be doing what I love. I'm blessed to be seeing the sunshine for another day. I'm blessed to be healthy and happy. And so they're just both reminders, more to myself, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's
I
behind it.
love it. I love it. And I knew it was going to be something that was like truly passionate and just, something that really speaks volumes to who just you are as well, because I mean, that is
Oh,
you to a T. So thank you so much for sharing. I've always wanted to know. And so I'm glad that I asked. So tell us, what have you been up to? I know you were just in Florida. I know you were just in New Jersey. What do you got going on in the Julee Ireland world?
oh my gosh, it's a lot every day. But you know what? But I love it. I love it all. So as you know, I have my design architecture business, and I, work from LA to the Hamptons. So I'm just finishing up a project in New Jersey. Recently, first of all, let's back up. In the last month, I've been through a lot. I went to Spain, went to the Cosentino factory, which was
Yeah.
absolutely incredible to be able to see the mountain, to see the factory, to see how innovative they are. That was fun. Then someone accidentally stepped on my foot and broke it, my fifth metatarsal.
Oh,
Like, it's finally, I can wear shoes though. Finally, it's kind of healed. So it's been about a month. Um, then I've got my projects going across the country, finishing the New Jersey project, which is so much fun. I've got one in Palos Verdes, a Haven Hill project, going great. I've got a little bungalow in Houston,
fun.
Whispering Oak Haven. I love to name like my projects. I've got one Sunset Development in Boston, a beautiful off the hook house that we're building and designing. And then we broke ground just this past Monday in Houston on my big project there, which that's just going to be amazing. It's for an amazing family. It's their retirement dream home on Lake
Oh,
Huffman.
fun.
Wait. And then I was speaking for NKBA in Jacksonville, Florida. So it was
Yes,
really
I saw the
fun.
live on that. It looked like it went really well.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I love teaching what I know, and I believe that that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to impart our knowledge on others, lift each other up, and teach what we know. And then at the same time, those conversations, we learn so much from other designers and other people in the room, especially when you get to the Q&A part of those sessions. So it was really fun.
Absolutely. It looks like it went really well for you. At one point, I think there was even a picture of you like cooking. What were you doing there? Are you a
Oh,
chef too?
woo! Oh my God. Oh my God. That was so fun. That was with Gabriella from, she's one of the board members there with NKBA. And no, so the conversation was all about, I was teaching about Zalige and handmade tile. And I know you know this, being a tile expert too yourself, that Zalige tile there's an art to installing it, and there's a process. And if you don't do it
Sure.
right, it's not going to turn out right.
Right.
So what we did at the very end is we created, I should say, Rachel of Kitchen Envy and Tile Envy, she created 3 pre-made boards with Zalige tile where we could kind of show the traditional installation, which is where you butt the tile up to each other and it's all imperfect, which is actually my favorite way to install it. And we
Right.
did with a 1/16 grout joint. So if you want to see a little bit of grout, we did that. And then we did another board with a pattern demonstrating how with Julee's tile, because it is handmade, it is very imperfect, and you have to order 15 to 20% more because you're going to have a lot of waste. You have to pick tile pieces for each row that are kind of the same length. And so we purposely did one that had shorter lengths, and then we grouted all of them so that people see what it looks like and touch and feel it. And so, yeah, I was a little bit of like scientist, designer, installer, but it was really fun. It was really fun.
That's amazing. It looked like it was so much fun. I wish I would have been there at that time. We were rolling in Dallas at Light Ovation, and I just need like a doppelganger of myself to be at all places. It looks so much fun, and I'm so bummed I missed it.
Oh, I'm bummed I missed Light Ovation too. I wish they would have been just like a week apart because, I wanted to go.
No, I so needed you there. Oh my gosh, you would have loved it. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of pictures that I still have to get to you with all of the decorative that I think you're just going to fall absolutely in love with, and very loose lighting. Oh my God, the release that we did for one of their fixtures, I think you're going to be all over it. So I will share that with you this week. I know your story. But our listeners, one of the gals through Women of Flooring Business has actually reached out a couple weeks ago. And one of her questions that she always had about people that are on the podcast, and I think it's so important, is we know where you are today. We know the success of who Julee Ireland is, all of the things that you're doing. But what was a path, if you could just give us a summary, that led you to where you are today? Where did you start?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started by making better homes for Barbie when I was about 3. So, I was cutting apart fabric. I was making rooms, little chairs, and designing dresses. Okay, so that's where it all started. So I would say I've been an artist my entire life, drawing, painting. I love watercolor in particular. And I ended up I was really torn between interior design and fashion design when I was young and going to college. And I picked fashion design because, of course, I was young and I was like, oh my God, Gucci and blah, 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 right? Like I was all into clothing and fashion. And I was a fashion designer first, made clothing for some very famous people. I can tell you Bill Gates' inseam is a perfect 34.
I love that story.
I worked in men's custom clothing. I worked for famous tailor John DeCaro Sartoria in Seattle. I think he was like a 2nd or 3rd generation tailor. He's amazing. He's still there. He's absolutely amazing. And then I was also a pro NFL cheerleader at the same time as a hobby for the Seahawks. Then I decided to move to LA because I wanted to be a Raiderette. And instead of going into fashion, I just kind of fell into interior design by painting wall murals and faux finishes. And back then, shabby chic was really chic. And I used to go to all the flea markets, find, fallen apart chairs and tattered tables and lamps and whatever. And redesign them, repaint them, fix them up, sell them. And from painting wall murals and faux finishes, I actually had a client that worked for a company called Holiday Carpet Company that contracts with all the big builders like D.R. Horton, Shea, Toll Brothers, you name it. And I interviewed with them. She was like, "You're so talented. We need a designer. Would you consider coming and interviewing?" And I was like, well, I'm not a certified interior designer or anything. But long story short, I ended up being put to a test. The owner of the company's like, he had only hired designers at that point that were certified designers and had degrees and all this. And he was like, I see something in you. He goes, here's a list of every tile and stone manufacturer, every carpet manufacturer, like cabinet maker that we work with. Go study all this up. We're going to have a test. Go meet with all these reps. So in 2 weeks, I met with everyone and I called him up. I said, I'm ready for my meeting. He was like, what, really? And I was like, yeah. So I met him in a showroom of his. He interviewed me. He was like, he walked around the showroom. He's like, tell me about this wood. Tell me about this stone. Tell me about this tile. And I had all the knowledge in my noggin, and I
love it.
And so that's how it really started in design. And I started out with very small communities, real starter homes that he would give me, but I would do the whole community. And I remember like starting out, like just laying the tile straight. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to lay it on a diagonal. Oh, wait, now I'm going to put blocks in. Oh, wait, and so I really learned, thanks to Mark Kane of Holiday Carpet, I really learned with my boots on the ground. I'm such a nerdy girl that I stuck my nose into everything. And even though
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, even though I didn't have to be there when electrical rough was being pulled or your plumbing or whatever, I would show up every step of the building process and ask questions and watch and learn. And then I ended up going to work for D.R. Horton, and the rest is just history. But that's how I learned how to build a house, production, like a production builder does, from the ground up. And that's how I apply that to my own, like, kind of builds, and that's how I formed like Home Renovation School too. So
perfect. That's exactly where I was going with you. Is I want to know tell us, what is Home Renovation School? I mean, I've seen all your videos. I know what it is, but dive into that with us. Here's the website too, by the way.
Yes, thank you. So I founded Home Renovation School. Actually, it was an idea of my late husband. And he kept saying to me, you're always mentoring people. You're always saving, because I'm also a real estate investor. So I've done many of my own spec homes and flips and things like that. And he's like, you're always mentoring people. You're always helping people. Like, I want you to start, and you love to teach, I want you to start monetizing on that. So Home Renovation School was literally one of his dying wishes for me. I had specific instructions on it. And about, I would say about 9 months after he passed, I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm going to write the school. Like, I know exactly what I'm calling it. I know blah, 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 blah. And so I wrote the school in 6 weeks. And what it is it's really designed for trade professionals and DIYers to be able to manage and build and design their own home, whether it's a renovation or a new build. So I spilled the beans on all my secrets. Everything that I use and that I've learned over the years, all my tips and tricks are in there. And I teach you just enough to be dangerous, right? I didn't go like I teach you about plans, because the planning stage is the most important. I mean, nothing gets off the ground with the plan. As much as people want to move forward and they just think, oh, they watch HGTV and they think, oh, that's easy. Oh, I'm just going to rip out my cabinet, start doing a kitchen. No. You need a budget and you need a plan first. And so I teach that in the school, and I go in depth in everything. I teach you about electrical. I teach you about plumbing. I teach you how to read plans, how to read your floor plan. It's a lot simpler than people think. You don't need to read the engineering and the foundation part of the plans. You just need to be able to understand the floor plan and understand what to look for, and how to find added value for your property too. So even if I, for instance, am flipping a house and doing a renovation, I always do a set of plans for everything. And I recommend that people do that too, that they actually take the original, you need an as-built set of plans. So if it didn't come with the house or they weren't laying around in a closet somewhere, that's my first recommendation. You do the as-built, so you have all your correct measurements. Then from there, you can then alter your plan, because now you have a clear picture of, oh, wait, I can build into attic here. And oh, if I knock this wall out here, now that becomes a big enough room to be a bedroom and I can put a wall closet. Now that just increased the value of my home, depending on what area you're in. So I teach
Absolutely.
all about that. You want to start with a plan. Everything starts with a plan. But basically, Home Renovation School will take you A to Z, from building, designing, renovating, or flipping your dream home like a pro.
Oh my gosh, I love this. And then here's your website too. So
Yeah.
I want to share this website. So Home Renovation School, love it, love it, love it. I need to get you on Hotel Renovation School because I have a hotel. I need some help with that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm going to send
Maybe
you
we'll
those
do home
plans.
renovation. We'll
Yeah,
run it
for sure. So I was just at Coverings at Atlanta. We did the podcast there to kind of cover Coverings too. So people kind of know you on the podcast from that. But I went for two reasons. One, I knew Curves was being released, which is your tile line through Marble Systems, and then the podcast. But tell us about your tile line Curves. What inspired you to even venture in that arena?
Oh my gosh. It's such an amazing blessing. So a good friend of mine, Lee Hosian, actually is the one who came to me and said, he's like a tile like guru expert. Like he's built many companies in the industry. And he was like, you're really talented. Would you like to design a tile line? And I was like, well, sure. Because I will tell you what I do in life is I say yes and what's next. So I always, why say no? Like, well, that sounds
Right.
great. Of course. So that's how it all started. And he introduced me to the CEO of Marble Systems. And so I had a meeting with him and I actually designed 13 collections. I definitely
Wow.
overwhelmed him. He had said to me, never in my entire career of doing this have I ever had a designer present anything like that to me. But I guess the only thing that I know how to be is a little extra. I'm just
Yeah.
me. Me is when I get an idea or I'm designing something, I am blessed that I have this open channel and it just starts pouring in. It's like a faucet being turned on.
It's
So,
like the visionary, which I can share that with you.
oh, is that a book? I would say
No,
we're
no,
both
no,
visionaries.
no. Being a visionary. When you're a
Oh,
visionary, you
oh,
go big or go home.
that's right.
I love that
I think
about
you and
you.
I are both like that as designers, by the way. We're go big or go home every
I
day. Like that's all
I
we know
think
how to
so.
do.
So that's
But
so cool.
yeah. So he picked we have two collections actually that he picked out of all 13. He said, let's whoa. This is like over 1,000 SKUs, which is true. And he's like, let's he's like, let's start with two and let's pare it down. So the Curves collection, the inspiration behind that collection is my love for the circle, just the circle, what it
Mm,
represents, infinity, um, never ending, connection that never ends. And I
right.
just think simplistic beauty in a circle, in
Yeah.
design, in anything, in a table. I always prefer a round table. Why? Because everybody is open and connected to each other in conversation. And so you'll even see that in my interior design that if the room fits and I can do a larger round table, I always prefer that.
Yeah.
Which
And
is something
that's
that's
the beautiful
personal.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing that I really loved about the line Curves is not only is it just the soft edges, but we're so used to for tile being these hard lines, vertical, horizontal planes, that's it. And I even see this like in the lighting industry at Light Ovation. All of the fixtures that we're seeing now, they're getting away from horizontal lines and it's all about being round, almost like a bolsterous design because it's all about embracing. And I think that, for the tile that you've done, the lighting that we're seeing, everything is bold, but with embrace, natural colors that just embrace like where we are in humanity even. It's so interesting, those timeless yet, retro pieces too. So that's what I loved about curves, though, was just that embrace, soft edge, exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's a key word that you hit on. It's timeless. And I really wanted to design something that when it was installed would feel timeless and be timeless. And so it's very simple, as you know, because you saw it. The line is very simple. Yes, the edges are also curved of all the tiles. And it has a softer color palette. So I just saw the soft, muted, kind of soft, timeless, elegant line. And then Mod Mix is a line that we're going to be launching in Italy.
Amazing.
Yes, at the end of September. And I also have some stone sinks that I've designed for Marble Systems too. So hopefully those will be released there as well. But
so
Mod Mix,
much.
yeah, but Mod Mix is inspired by my love for mid-century modern design. I love mid-century modern. And so it's got a much bolder color palette to it. It's made to mix and match. It's Mod Mix. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait to release it.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And then I will tell you, I'm working on a lighting line right now, actually, for a manufacturer.
Amazing.
That I cannot say, but I am working on a lighting line and also a bath vanity line for another.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So for decorative fixtures?
Yes, I'm going to do a whole collection.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. I cannot wait to see what that looks like as well.
Yes, I might be inspired by this.
We love the Sputnik. Talking about timeless. I mean, Sputnik is timeless.
Oh, well, it's the Swarovski crystals on this that when the light hits it, it's just fabulous. I don't even know.
That's so amazing. Well, I cannot wait to hear more about the lighting. That is my jam. So I absolutely love that. What is some advice that you would give to newer designers looking to take a leap into some of these bigger projects that you've spoke about? If you could give one piece of advice, what would you give to those designers or entrepreneurs?
I would say dream it. Don't be afraid to dream it. And then to manifest it, you need to take steps towards it every day. You need to write it down. You need to see it. You need to think it. You need to say it out loud and just do it. The lighting thing and all that came about because I didn't wait for someone to come to me. I created it, and it created a presentation. I went ahead and I did it. And I will tell you that every manufacturer needs a new design. They're manufacturers. They're not the designers, right? They need people like you and me and people like you out there who have that desire. If you have that desire to design a collection or whatever, go create it. Go be and do it.
Right.
That's what gets you. You have to take action. That's a good word that you said. You need to take action.
Absolutely.
And then take action. That's all you have to do. And it will transform.
Yeah, it absolutely does. That's such great advice. And, people across the board, and we've talked about this on here before too, and we've talked about this at some of the women conferences, is even though you have the manifestation, even though you're asking the universe for whatever, send you what you need, you have to implement action. It's the same thing as someone saying to me, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, what action plan are you taking? Because it's not going to just fall off. So that's great. And the fact that, the other thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur with anything that I've ever done is I'm a risk taker. I always take a risk just to see where it lands me. And if someone says no, they say no. But just you never know until you apply yourself and until you take a risk. Some of those risks are rewarding and some they've bit me in the butt, but at least taking risk and taking action is what being an entrepreneur is all about, and constantly being on a pivot. So I love that you shared that piece though. So, well, I'm so thankful that I got to have you on today and connect with you, learn about everything that you were doing, the Home Renovation School, learn about projects that you're coming up against and doing, and how to navigate through this whole sticky, crazy world that we're all in as entrepreneurs and designers.
Yeah.
Anyone last thoughts that you have for anyone?
I just want to say, there isn't anything that you can't do. And you and I are both women that work in an industry that is male dominated. If I can build a house, if I can, learn how to build a house and then build a house, if I can become a successful product designer, whatever, so can you. So I just want to say, it's really also one final note. I think it's really important not to listen to what everyone else is saying around you. Don't just close out the noise around you and follow your heart. You're going to get a lot of those people saying, "Oh, that'll never happen. Oh, you can't do that." First of all, those are the people that you probably should weed the garden and pluck them right out, and they don't belong.
Yeah.
But, you said something also earlier about taking risks. And I think you have to take a risk, like 100%. You're betting on yourself. Believe in yourself. Follow your dreams. Listen to your heart. Don't listen to anyone else around you, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That is great food for thought. We love that. Julee Ireland, thank you so much for taking the time and being on the podcast today, inspiring me, inspiring all of those I'm sure that'll be listening. And I cannot wait. Send me the spec so I can spec this light, would you?
Oh my God, yes.
So exciting. So thank you so much for being on, and I look forward to connecting with you again.
Yes, love you.
Okay, love you. Bye. Guys, we love Julee Ireland. She truly is the passion and just, an inspiration to me as to who I am in the industry, and just working with her has been a game changer. She is fabulous. So be sure to check out juleeireland.com. Also check out the Home Renovation School. So juleeireland.com here, homerenovationschool.com as well. Also, you guys, if you're looking for materials for your tile, for commercial jobs, residential, be sure to check out Laticrete as well. They're an amazing sponsor of women also in the flooring business and supporting women in our industry. If you are also interested in offering a CEU at your design center, I have a credit that is worth 1 CEU credit for the designer dopamine. So where I pull together all things lighting, design, and some really fun stuff with that CEU. So be sure to reach out on cameostudiodesigns.com. Also, interviews coming down the pipeline. So we have Coffee with Cameo, where we start to unpack some fun design tools through designer dopamine. Also, Georgia Ezra, creative director of Tile of Ezra, will be on in August. Jane, who is the former Tile Person of the Year, Jane Hone, you guys probably know her from the art piece that she just recently did through the art training. So her and Jan and Jane and all of the people, co-founders through Dragon Tile, will be a part of that. Also down the pipeline is Leslie Godden. You guys remember Leslie Godden. She's amazing. Journalist and author of Artisan Magazine. Such a fun creator. And then Jan, who I mentioned, NTCA board member, founder of Dragonfly Tile, and also co-founder of the art training. So that is all coming down the pipeline. Be sure, if you are not logged in yet, log in and become a part of the conversations on Facebook through womenflooring.com, where we are here to support you. Sponsorship, you can go to podcast@womenflooring.com. And I look so forward to our next interview. You guys have a great week. And thank you always for joining